Right, so, goal of this particular one is we are going to show you what a Shelby Cobra does on a track. The reason for that is because a Shelby Cobra is from the 1960s. We have 1960s brakes, we have 1960s tyres. It is gonna be a bit of a pig to get round. I'm not saying for you to just instantly go out and try and drive this car, but it's basically just sort of cementing a lot of those techniques I was trying to mention yesterday. So things to do with when you're trail braking, just be, always constantly trying to apply at least some brake. And if you're not braking, at least some throttle. You're always going to be applying something, because if at any point we're not braking and not throttling, A, we're going to be losing speed, but B, this is just going to want to slide. We need to keep it under constant load. There's no fifth gear. But yeah, we need to keep this thing under constant load just to keep it compliant. So this is just my little warm-up lap, just feel it out, get the car warmed up. So it's this particular car probably actually needs a good couple of warm-up laps, but once again this is just a little bit wide there. It's fine, catch it on the exit. Just in case you probably weren't wondering, but if you're going, oh, he's downshifting, but he's not activating the clutch, you can clutchless downshift most of these as long as you get the timing right. If you don't, you'll hear a loud fucking crunch. But yeah, don't worry about that. Right, so let's try and fucking fifth gear again. Try and show you, not round this corner, let's go for the next one. So that there was kind of exemplary of if you're not throttling enough or not braking enough. But this one, if I just let fully off the brakes without any throttle, you heard it was massively understeering there, just didn't want to. This one's I'll brake into it, turn, that's me fully off throttle. It's not compliant, it doesn't want to go. So it's going to be transitioning from brake to throttle. This one here, so brake, turn in. And that's only just applying throttle at the end. I'm losing so much speed throughout that because I'm not able to steer the car where I want it to go. I need that acceleration from the rear to push the car forwards to make it steer where it wants to. Otherwise, it's not going to steer enough. So like this one here, I'm just losing shitloads of speed just to try and make it round the corner. I can't turn any tighter than that. This one here, same thing, it's starting to understeer. You'll also have what's known as lift-off oversteer. So if let's try on this corner. So I'm going to brake. And that was me braking into the corner, but I was jabbing at the brakes. I was so let's try on this one again. Brake, turn in. And it's my front end, the suspension is compressing down, the rear end becomes light, and then it just wants to jut round. So by easing off on the brakes a little bit, do it on this corner again, like that, and the back end's just going to come round. But by easing off on the brakes, trailing it, and then gently applying throttle, I'm going to settle the suspension, and it's going to keep traction throughout the entire corner. So that's what I'm trying to show you. It took a little while to get there, but... So it's just the same thing I was doing yesterday, keeping just a little bit of brake, not much, just, maybe 5% maximum, just as I trail off. Oh, bad example on that corner. And then throttling slowly, especially in a car like this. I'll try and show you, if I just jab on the throttle, let's say here, the back end is just going to spin round. And obviously the more powerful the car you have, the more likely that's going to happen. Obviously, the more powerful the car you have, especially with modern cars, you're going to have more powerful brakes, which means that the lift-off oversteer is going to happen far quicker. So everything that could go wrong is going to go wrong, and it's going to happen significantly quicker. So that little MX-5 is a nice little getting to grips with things. But as you start getting into faster cars, all of those little situations you encounter where it just slightly understeers or just slightly oversteers, it's just going to get worse. It's going to get harder. We're not going to touch on aero for a little while because that's a whole different kettle of fish. But hopefully, yeah, same as yesterday, this one helps just a little bit. Just to kind of, so you can understand why I was telling you that sort of thing, but you can just see the difference here where I'm not concentrating as much, but just trying to, let's give it some beans for the last little bit. But if I start trying to drive this one super aggressively, it's not going to be compliant. It doesn't like having shitloads of throttle through it and loads of brake with really aggressive downshifts like that.